Hello, good evening, Miss Tram.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Miss. Do you know
Today,
if Miss Rose will join us tonight?
I will ask her.
Okay, let me also message them.
Yeah. Con muốn mình lúc đi, con muốn một con
Okay, let's just wait for her for a few minutes.
Yes.
Okay, how's your Sunday, Miss Tram?
It's work great. With my family hang out together, and I just come back home around
Oh,
house.
oh, you just come back home. I hope you are not yet tired for our class.
Yes. I very excited to learn with you, so always wait for it.
Oh, I'll take that as a compliment, Miss. Okay, because yesterday we were not able to finish our activity because we run out of time, right? So we
Yeah.
will review the activity, the part one, okay, because we have to polish it so that you'll be able to answer the next part of the activity. But we need Miss Rose for part two. Okay, but if it's okay if she'll not be able to come. Did she reply already?
Okay, teacher, she is joining.
Oh, she is joining. Okay. Let me just. Hello, good evening, Miss Rose. I think she's already here. Are we complete? All right. So let me just prepare the whiteboard that we use, okay, yesterday. Okay, so that we will be able to view your sample emails.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now this was the activity that, okay, we did yesterday. And let's take a look at the results of your outputs. Hold on, let me adjust this so we can view it properly. Okay. Now, the activity yesterday was for you to write a short introductory email to your partner. So, your goal was to introduce yourself, your company, explain that your partner was recommended to you, and that you have to suggest a meeting to discuss some future business. And this is the example that I shared last time. Okay. Now let's take a look at the email that you created. Okay, so we have here, okay, of course, you begin your letter by your salutation, so it's good. Now, if it is a business meeting, okay, look at the example. We have dear. It's an email, right? But there is a missing, okay, point here. There's no punctuation mark. Punctuation mark is also very important in emails. So we have here, okay, dear Miss. Okay, it should be um Miss. Hold on. How can I edit?
I think Miss Jo are
All right.
already typing, assisting typing.
Okay, so it should be Miss, okay, since, well, Miss Tram is a woman, right? So it should be Miss
Yeah.
Tram with a comma, okay? So if you know the person and if you want to establish a friendly, okay, connection with a person, then you can begin your email with Dear Miss Tram. But in some other cases, let's say highly formal email, okay, they don't use dear, but they just go ahead and write Miss Tram and then the position, okay, if you know the position. Or you just have to write it in colon. Okay, this is for high formal email. But since the goal here is for you to establish future business relations, then you can begin with dear Miss Tram and then comma. Then you
Yeah.
can say my name. Okay, don't forget the proper spacing. Okay, so my name is, this is good. Here, you can say I am working, or you omit the am and just stick to the simple present. So I work in research development department. If you want to become more specific, you can add the name of your company of and then name of company. So for example, research development department of um a let's say, what company? Miss Trump, you use ABC, right? Hold on, let me just double check. Oh, ACB. So we'll use a different name here. Okay, so for
Yeah.
example, research, I work in the research in the research development department of AI, for example, AI company, or for example, computer company. Yeah. And then you have to end it with a period. Okay, not a comma. Okay, and then today, comma. Okay, I have recommends. This should be recommend. Okay, I have a recommendation. Okay, it can be a recommendation from. Okay, it should be from the producing department, if you have such thing as producing department, about. Okay, let's be careful with our spelling, about innovation technology. Okay, so you can capitalize this if this is the name of your project. Okay, so okay, they want to introduce with you about. Okay, so since you are the one writing the email, okay, then you have to personalize it. Okay, you may use not they, but we, because you are included in the team. You are the one contacting, okay, the company. So we want to introduce you, or we want to work with you. Okay, not introduce. We want to work with you since you are asking for their help. So we want to work with you about, okay, the new technology. Okay, if you are interested, okay, or technology, then period. And then this could be another part of the email now. Okay. Okay. And then if you are interested in, okay, or you can just type if you are interested. Okay. We will plan a meeting. Okay. We move on because we already have the will here. So we will plan for a meeting next week at my office. Just one. Okay. Best regards. Okay. And then comma, and then your name. Okay. So for example, no. Okay. So this
Sorry,
is
teacher.
now. It's
You
okay,
can hear
miss.
me.
All right. So we have here, okay, a much structured email. So you have here your name, your work, um, what is the purpose, why you are emailing it, the person. Okay. So we have here, we want to work with you about the new technology. Okay. If you're interested, we will plan for a meeting next week at my office. Okay. And then best regard. And then you can add here your contact details. So you may call me, just like in our example earlier. Okay, this one. If you're interested, yeah, could you either call us or send an email in reply? So this is very important in writing your email. Okay, because aside from we will plan for a meeting next week at my office. Okay, you have to include here that they need to call you back or to reply in this email. Okay. So you can say, should you be interested? Should you be interested for the meeting? Please uh, give us a call or send us a reply or send us a confirmation because this is a more positive uh, word. Send us a confirmation. Okay. Anytime. You could also set a deadline. Anytime this week. Okay. So you are expecting for a reply this week because the meeting will be happening next week. So at this week or on this week, you should be settled. Okay. So that's how you could structure your email. Okay. Now let's take a look at the other example. Okay, so we have here, okay, let's not forget, okay, the period after Miss. Okay, my name and then spacing. I work from, okay, good, as a raw material. How do you spell planner? Planner is double N. Okay, so I was given your details by one of your former colleagues, Miss A. Good job. So there is a name mentioned. Okay, she recommended you to me as we are planning to buy raw materials. Spelling of materials. Materials for my company's products. Okay, good. And then the third paragraph would be about if they are interested. So if you are interested in discussing, okay, okay, discussing this further, could you either call us or send an email in reply and we will arrange a meeting with you. Okay, very good. Best regards. After regards, it should be comma and then your name. Okay. And then aside from best regards, you can also use warm regards. Okay. You can also say warm regards to establish more, friendly relations, business relations with each other. So you can say warm regards. Okay. Or you can also say all the best. All the best, Pram. Okay, so you can be creative and you can be flexible in terms of closing your letter because this can make or break your relationship with the other company. Okay, so the most common is best regards, but you can also use all the best, warm regards, respectfully yours. All right, so let us now continue. Now that you have the letter from each other, let's continue on with the next part of our activity. Okay, let's let's go back to um, the previous screen. All right. So for the next part of our activity, okay, you will be writing now a response to the email. Okay, so you have to introduce yourself, explain why you are calling, and uh, how you would like to arrange your meeting, and you have to discuss travel arrangements. Okay, so this time it's not going to be an email anymore, but a call. Okay, so again, you have to introduce yourself. Hello, this is Tram. I am calling as to respond for the email you sent me, and then you have to mention, okay, the purpose of the email. Let me copy this. Let's go back to, or if you want, okay, since this would also take time, I could give this as a homework, and all you have to do is take a record of yourself uh, following this structure. Which one do you like the best? Do you want to do it now, or do you want this to become a homework in which you will record a video of yourself talking or following the structure as if you are making a call?
Nhung Vân muốn làm Miss Nhung is out. Out cái
Oh, she's not here. Oh, so since she's not here, Miss Tram, we could skip this one, or I could give this as a homework so we could practice how to discuss travel arrangements.
Okay.
All right, so let's continue and take a look at. Okay, I have included here, Miss Tram, some statements, okay, that you can use when it comes to, for example, you're canceling a meeting. So if you are the meeting organizers, then there are times when you have to cancel a meeting. Now, here are some sentences that you can use for these kinds of situation. Let's read the sample, Ms. Tram.
There are therefore people who will not be able to attend the meeting tomorrow. I'm going to reschedule the meeting to a more convenient time.
Okay, so
The
this way,
director,
this one.
the director asked that we postpone the finance meeting until the quarterly report comes out. So I sent an update with the new date and time late this week.
Okay, so these are the ways on how you can cancel a meeting. So in the first part of our activity, you want to establish, you want to schedule a meeting. But this time, what if you will have to cancel? So in this structure or phrases, we have here the reason why you are canceling the meeting. So it is important for you to mention the reason behind the cancellation of the meeting. Okay. And then you have to say when are you going to reschedule the meeting. So if you are not yet sure of the schedule, then it is safe to say that I am going to reschedule the meeting to a more convenient time. So there is no exact time, there's no exact date yet of the rescheduling. Okay. And it's safe. It's more compassionate when it comes to rescheduling meetings. Okay. And then you can, it's also the same with the second example. The director asked that we postpone. Okay, so when we say postpone, it's the same as cancel. Okay, until the quarterly report comes out. So uh, this one, it's the director who is canceling. And then you also should say that I'll send an update with a new date and time later this week. So there's no exact time yet, but they should expect for the new schedule this week. Okay. So this is for canceling a meeting. Okay. How about if, okay, some meetings are weekly meetings that occur at the same time. So it is common that these meetings are canceled. Okay, let's say there are some, challenges that may interfere with the flow of the meeting. So these are the statement that you can use. Now, Miss Rose, let's read the first one.
Okay, Richard, I go out before trouble internet.
Ah, okay, I see, Miss. It's okay.
There is nothing new to discuss this week, so we are going to cancel this week again the meeting.
All right. So this can be used when there is nothing urgent to talk about. Okay. Or, for example, if you are the facilitator and you are late in the morning, let's say you were stuck in the traffic, you can say this statement. Miss Tram, let's read.
I am running late this morning. Let's postpone the meeting until the afternoon.
All right. So you can say this if you are the head of the department and you are the facilitator. But if you are a member of the department, okay, you cannot use this statement because it will create a negative impression on you. Okay. And then we also have this example, Miss Rose. Let's read.
Okay, I can make it in tomorrow. So let's cancel this week meeting. I will email everyone if something new come up.
Okay. So this one is a giving a heads up. So you are already informing them that tomorrow's meeting is not going to happen. Okay. So these are the key statement that you can use again when you are canceling a meeting. Okay. Next, I also included here 10 business expressions for general conversations when you are in a meeting. Okay, so what are some phrases that you can use during a meeting? So we have here the expression, the meaning, and of course, a sample sentence. The first one is called let's touch base. Okay, so what do we mean by let's touch base in a meeting? It means following up on a conversation. Okay, so for example, let's have Miss Tram to read the example.
Let us face it next week to see how the project is going.
All right, so instead of saying let's meet next week and I want to have an update, you can use this expression. Let's touch base next week. It means let us have a meeting next week. Okay, so it's the same as setting a meeting. Okay, so if you are, tired of using let's meet to get an update, then you can say let's touch base. Another one is, hey, this is also common. Okay, when you say thanks for reaching out. Okay, so this is also an expression that means that you are acknowledging the communication. Okay, so for example, Miss Rose, let's read the sample sentence.
Thanks for reaching out. I appreciate your
Appreciate.
email.
All right. So when we say
Appreciate.
appreciate, correct. So when we say appreciate, it means that you are thankful, okay, that the person is extending communication. Okay. So that's what we mean by thanks for reaching out. You acknowledge the communication. Okay. How about this one? We also have the phrase, okay, or the statement, do you have a minute? Okay. So, can you guess what's the meaning of this question?
Do you
Oh,
have a minute?
mhm.
I
What does it
think
mean?
uh I think it's at so uh but know about time to uh for few time to spend to talk
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. So we commonly hear this when, for example, you are so busy and but you want to talk to someone. Okay, so when we say, "Do you have a minute?" you are requesting someone's time. Okay. But when we say, do you have a minute? It's not literally like 1 minute only. Okay. It may not be too long, but it's also not too short. Okay. So for example, okay, do you have a minute to discuss the report? Okay. So it's an abrupt, okay, setting a meeting or a conversation with someone. So again, it's not literally that it's just a minute, 60 seconds. Okay. But it could last for 5 to 10 minutes, but not an hour. So when you say, do you have a minute? I just want to pitch in some ideas. Then you have to make sure that you will only use like 5 to 10 minutes of her time, his or her time to discuss something. Because if it's longer than that, then it's already a meeting. Okay. So that's what we mean by do you have a minute? But you can also reject this, okay, if you're not available. Okay. Next one, we also have can we circle back on that? Okay. So what do we mean by can we circle back? And yes, it's literal circle. Now, when we say, can we circle back on that? It means that you are requesting to go back or to revisit the previous topic. Okay, let's say, for example, you have some questions in mind, you want to clarify something, then you can say, excuse me, can we circle back on that? Okay, so let's read the sample question or statement here. Miss Rose, can you please read it?
Can we circle back on that idea we discussed last week?
Okay, correct. So when you hear that, it means the person is requesting for you to review the topic that had been discussed previously. Okay. So, for example, the boss or the facilitator already finished discussing all the agenda, and you have some questions you want to clarify something, then you can say, "Excuse me, can we circle back on the first agenda? I just have some questions in mind." Okay. So, it means that you will go back. Okay. So, this way, it would sound more business-like. We also have, okay, this expression, "I'll follow up with you." Okay. So this is an expression that means that you are committing to provide more information. So it's not "I'll follow up with you" that you will call or whatsoever. So it's like setting a promise that you will provide something. Okay. For example, let's have Miss Tram to read the sample.
I follow up with you on the action items after the meeting.
All right. So when you say I'll follow up with you on the action items after the meeting, it means that it's not yet ready, but you are promising to provide it after the agreed time. Okay. So for example, you are so busy that you forgot to prepare some items, then you can say, I'll just follow it up with you. It means that you are promising to submit it. Okay. Next one, we also have the phrase, okay, this "keep me in the loop." Okay, so just like circling back. So when we say "keep me in the loop," it means you want updates or progress. Okay, so for example, okay, can we have Miss Rose to read the sample sentence?
Please keep me in the loop about any change in the project.
All right. So, okay, that's how you could use it in a sentence. So when you say, "Please keep me in the loop," it means that you want to always be given updates about the project, about the changes, about the progress. Okay. And then we also have this expression, "let's take this offline." Okay. So what do we mean by "let's take this offline"? This means that you are suggesting a private discussion. So most people would say that offline means no internet. Okay. So it's actually "let's take this off the line." Okay, that's the longer term for that. But the shorter is "let's take this offline." It means let's talk about this in private. Okay, so for example, okay, let's have Miss Tram to read the sample sentence.
This topic may need more time. Let's take it offline.
All right. So it means that you want to talk about it in a private discussion between limited people only. Okay. Next, we also have the phrase, oh, this one is common already. Okay, "I appreciate your input." So this can be heard while you are having a meeting. So it means that you are acknowledging someone's feedback, someone's suggestion. Okay. So for example, okay, let's have Miss Rose to read the sample sentence.
I appreciate our input on this matter. It's very helpful.
All right. So it means that you are thankful about the suggestion, but it's also a subtle way of just saying, "Okay, I'll accept it, but we'll put it in review." Okay. So this kind of statement would also help you build strong and positive relationship with your colleagues. Because if you say that, "Oh, I appreciate your input," it means that you accept their suggestion and you are thankful for pitching in ideas. Okay. Next, we also have this one. How does that sound? Okay. So this kind of statement is commonly given if you are checking for agreement. Let's say you already gave your suggestion, you already gave your opinion on something, but you want to know if your colleagues in the meeting agrees with you. So you can say, how does that sound? So for example, let's have Miss Tram to read the sample sentence.
We'll implement the changes next week. How does that sound?
All right. So, okay, when you ask this, how does that sound? You are checking for agreement. So if you want to consider others' opinion, then you could ask this. So of course, others would say, I think it's not possible. So it's like you are opening the room for comments, for suggestions from your colleagues. Okay. But you also have to be careful because when you ask this, how does that sound? You may receive negation. So someone would go against your idea. So you have to prepare for that one. Okay. And then we also have this. Can we discuss this further? Okay. So I believe you have heard this kind of statement already during your meeting. So it means you are requesting more detailed discussion. Okay. So for example, can we discuss this further in our next meeting? So, when you hear this one from your boss, it means that he or she is not yet satisfied with the kind of update, with the kind of report that you delivered. So, when your boss would say, or someone higher than you would say, can we discuss this further? Okay, it means two things. Number one, he or she is interested to know more. Number two, he or she is not satisfied. Okay, so you have to prepare for a better presentation next time. Okay, so those are the 10 business statement or conversation that you could use in uh, your meetings. Okay. So, do you have any question or shall we move on to the next part of our discussion?
I have no question.
No question. All right. So, how about you, Miss Rose? Shall we proceed?
I have no question.
All right. So, moving on, this is still part of unit number one. So, aside from setting a meeting, okay, another important thing that you also need to consider is exchanging contact details. Since we are in a business industry, then this is crucial because this is how you also expand your network. Okay. Now let's take a look at the first questions first. Are you good at remembering people's names and contact details? Okay, let's start with Miss Rose. Miss Rose, are you good at remembering people's names and the contact details?
Yes, I am good at
Mm.
remember people name.
Oh, well, I envy you because that's why you might Waterloo. How
I
about
think
you?
that
Uh, Go
yeah,
ahead. Go
I
ahead,
think
Miss
that
Rose.
on meeting I need remember name. Yeah, their name.
Their name. Okay, so that
Yeah.
you could easily invite them. Well, that you have a point there. How about you, Miss Tram? Are you good at remembering names and contact details?
I think not quite good.
Not quite good. So we're the same. You know what? I always struggle when it comes to remembering names and even contact details. Sometimes I even don't remember my own contact detail. So I find it difficult. So do you have any special techniques for helping you remember names when you meet people for the first time? What are some of your strategies to help you remember, I know this person, this is the head of this department? How do you remember them? Okay, let's start with Miss Rose.
I usually writing your name and contact on mobile phone.
You save it on your phone. I see.
Yeah,
Okay. Because in my
and
case, I
sometimes
don't save.
I write on notebook.
Okay, so you also have a notebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Rose. How about you, Miss Tram? Do you have any special techniques?
Uh, I also use my phone to their name and their phone.
I see. So you save the names on your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in my case, I don't save. Why? I don't save? It's because, well, I find it, uh, I usually save people's names and contact details on in my computer. Yeah, usually I use Google Workspace to save my contact details because it's accessible. Because sometimes I cannot remember where I put my phone. So I worry that if I lose my phone, okay, someone with bad intentions will get all the contact details. So I don't save a contact number on my phone just to be safe. How about this one? In what situations do you have to exchange names and contact details?
I think when I lose my phone, uh, um, I will exchange
Mhm.
name and I
Oh, this one is exchange. Okay. Change is different. Okay. So, for example, if you lose your phone, you change your number. Okay. But this one is exchange. You are giving your contact details to others and you receive vice
I
versa.
understand.
That's exchange.
I got it. Yes. I think when I uh, have to, I want to talk more with the partner. Have long term business. I will send them my name and my contact detail.
Correct. So, well, that's one situation, right? So, if you want to expand your connections, okay, that's the time that we give our names and our contact details. Okay. And then, if we also want to, work as business partners, then you also exchange names and contact details. Okay. Now, let's continue and learn more about, exchanging contact details to others. Now, we'll listen to three conversations and we'll have to answer questions one to two for each one. So we have to answer number one, how does each speaker give their contact details and why do they want to keep in contact with each other? Okay, so these are three conversations that we'll listen, and those are the questions that I want you to answer. Let's start. Okay, let's listen to the conversation now.
1.4 1.
Let me take your name and number, and I'll let you know when we're having another exhibition.
That's great, thanks. Here's my card.
2.
Can I have Susie's number and email address? I want to invite her to the next training day.
Sure, they're in my phone, so I'll send you her contact details by text. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine. That way I'll have your new mobile number too.
3.
It was great meeting you again. Let's get together again next month. I have an email address for you, but I'm not sure if it's current.
No, you've probably got my old one, but I've got yours, so it's probably easiest if I email you when I get back to the office.
Okay, great.
Okay, so that's those are the three conversation. Now let's listen to them again, and I will pause per conversation.
1.4. 1.
Let me take your name and number, and I'll let you know when we're having another exhibition.
That's great, thanks. Here's my card.
Okay, now based on the conversation number one, how does the speaker give their contact details? Correct. So they exchange contact details through giving business cards. Okay. And why do they want to keep in contact with each other? What's the purpose of exchanging business cards?
Send email or fly email.
Okay, let me just type it here. Okay, and what's the purpose of conversation number one?
Idea that they want to have more dispensation.
Exhibition, correct. So it's more of to inform the person about future exhibitions. Okay, so that's the purpose. And the way based on the way of exchanging contact details based on conversation one. Now let's have conversation number two.
2.
Can I have Susie's number and email address? I want to invite her to the next training day.
Sure, they're in my phone, so I'll send you her contact details by text. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine. That way I'll have your new mobile number too.
Okay. So how about in the second conversation? How does the speaker give their contact details?
He sent her by text.
Okay, very good. Okay, so in conversation number two, it's by sending details via text. Okay, and what's the reason why they want to keep in contact with each other?
They want to invite Susie went to the next training day.
Okay, so to invite, okay, well, in this case, it's Susie for training. Next one, let's have conversation number three.
3.
It was great meeting you again. Let's get together again next month. I have an email address for you, but I'm not sure if it's current.
No, you've probably got my old one, but I've got yours, so it's probably easiest if I email you when I get back to the office.
Okay, great.
Okay, so what is the third way of exchanging contact details? It's through.
Exchange email when you get back.
Okay, so it's through email.
Address.
All right, correct. So it's through email or giving of email address. And why do they want to keep in contact with each other?
Get back to the office.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they would head back to the office, or they actually want to stay in touch. Stay in touch and arrange for a future. Arrange to meet again in the future. Okay, so these are the common purposes why we keep in contact with another person. So first, of course, we want to inform about future gatherings, future projects, future events. it's more on an invitation as well for training, for meetings, for seminar, or if you just want to stay in touch so that you will have connections for, future purposes. Okay. And in terms of giving contact details, there are actually multiple and a variety of ways on how you can give your contact detail. But these three are the common in terms of business relations. So the first one is by giving business cards. Okay. Do you also issue business cards? Okay. Do you use business cards in your company, Miss Tram and Miss Rose?
Yes, I have.
You also have. Okay, and then you can also. Okay, this is already an old version. Okay, but now we could also send details not only via text but also via chat. Okay, so that's now the modern version. It's not only text but also chat. And the third one is also through email. Okay, so these are the different ways on how we could exchange contact details with someone.
1.
Now, let's continue. Okay, now which of the phrases below is an example of, okay, hold on, why do I don't have there the details? Okay, so which of these example is asking for detail, promising a detail, or requesting for, or asking for details, giving details, and promising details? Okay, let's say for example, why is not there? Promising details, asking details, and giving details. Okay, now let's categorize the following into promise, asking, and giving. Let's say, for example, number one, Miss Tram. Let's read number one.
Let me take your name and number.
Okay. What is the purpose of that statement? Is it promise, asking, or giving?
I think asking.
Okay, good. So this one is more of asking
1.4.
details. Okay. Oh, hold on. Why it's different? Okay. So number one is more on asking details, correct? How about for number two? Okay, Miss Rose.
I have an email address for you, but I'm not sure if it's current.
Okay.
I think it is giving
Correct.
giving
So
detail.
giving details as well. Okay, how about for number three, Miss Tram?
I'll send you her contact detail by text. It is promising.
Okay, so it's promising because we have here a future tense. I will send it. Okay, or I'll send you. How about for number four, Miss Rose?
Can I have Suzy number and email address? I think it is asking detail.
Okay, correct. So it's more on asking detail. How about for number five, Miss Tram?
It's probably easier if I email you when I get back to the office. Giving.
Okay, so this one is more of promise. Okay, so why is it promise? Because it says here that it's probably easiest if I email you when I get back. So you have to wait for the person to get back to the office before you can expect the email. So this one is more on promising details. Okay, how about for number six, Miss Rose?
Yes, my cat. I think it's a giving detail.
All right, correct. So this is giving because you directly give, okay, your business card to someone. Okay. And I think this is the last one. Okay. And these are the details. Okay. So for the first one is asking. Okay. Number two, it's giving, promising, asking for details, okay, and then promising, and then giving details for the last. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the following. Let's take a look at the sentences A to I and discuss why each sentence uses either present simple or present continuous tense in bold. So when we say present simple, okay, it's the base form of the verb and you just add S or no S depending on the subject. And when we say present continuous, if the word is ending in ing. So for example, let's have letter A. Miss Rose, can you please read the statement?
I'm calling about the email I send you.
All right. So look at the structure. So we have am calling. So it is ending with ing. So if this is ending with ing, this verb, this structure is in present continuous tense. So when you use present continuous tense of the verb, you are talking about an action that you are doing at the moment. So for example, right now, the person is calling about the email that you sent. Okay. Next, for the second example, okay, Miss Tram, let's read. Yes.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, so notice that this verb here doesn't end with ing. So if it doesn't end with ing, then it's present simple. Okay, so when say, yes, I remember, okay, you are stating a fact that there's a feeling that you remember something. Okay, not just, right now, but probably you have already remembered it some point, not just at this point in time. Okay. Number letter C, Miss Rose, let's read.
We are currently updating our corporate email.
Mhm. Correct. So this one is present continuous because again, it's ending with ing. Okay. Now let's take a look at letter D, Miss Tram. Let's read.
I go to Peking once a month.
All right. So go is present simple. Okay. Why is it present simple? Aside from, well, it's a present activity, it is also a recurring activity. So if it is a recurring or an action that is repeated, okay, for example, once a month, then we use the present simple tense of the verb. Same goes with letter E, Miss Rose. Let's read.
It only takes 20 minutes to get to the station.
All right. So we have the word takes. And why do you think it is in present simple tense? Okay, why can't we use it is taking 20 minutes to get to the station? Why can't we use taking?
Because it is acting for action
Mm-hmm.
reason.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So this
Uh,
is the
and it is casual. It will at
mm-hmm.
present simple.
Correct. Correct. So since it is a schedule, it is a fact that it takes 20 minutes only, okay, then you have to use present simple. Okay, because well, it doesn't change depending on the day. It always is 20 minutes to get to the station. That's why it's present simple. Okay, next one, Miss Tram, let's read.
I'm leaving the day after tomorrow.
Okay, and what is the structure of the verb? Is it present simple or
Leaving
present continuous?
present got that.
All right,
Present
so
continuous
correct. So it's present continuous. Why do you think we can't use present simple?
because uh we can see after tomorrow, the day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Because
It
the
means
action
in the
will,
future.
mhm. Correct. So it's in the future and it only happens it is going to happen just for one. Okay, so I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. So the next schedule, the next month, okay, he will not leave. Okay, so this one is happening only once. Next, we also have here another schedule, which is the train schedule. So if it's a train, bus, or a vehicle schedule and it happens every day, then we have to use the present simple tense of the verb. Okay. Now let's take a look at, okay, the language at work. So now that we have reviewed about the function of present simple and present continuous form of the verb, now let's categorize them. In which sentence in activity 1 is a present simple used to refer to a routine? Now, which of these statement is a
G.
routine?
G.
Okay, let's see. Is it G? Oh, it's D. Okay, I go to Berlin once a month. So every month, it's part of the routine that he'll go to Berlin. Okay. How about number 2? Okay, which of those statement is something that always or permanently true? Okay, which is permanently true? Okay, it means that it doesn't change.
G.
Okay, let's see. Well, it can also be G, but there is another category for that. So when we say something that is always true, letter E, it only takes 20 minutes. Okay. How about for number 3, a thought, feeling, reaction, rather than an action? Okay, which of these is a thought or a feeling or a reaction? Okay, it is a thought.
C.
Okay, it's letter V. I remember. Okay, that's your thought. Okay, and your reaction, then an action. So I remember. Okay. How about this one? An item on a timetable.
G.
Okay, let's see. That's letter G. Okay, because we have here a schedule. So when we say timetable, it's the same as schedule. So the train leaves at 3. And then how about this one? The future after a time word.
F. F.
Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. We have here, we can meet when I get back. Again, it's present simple. Okay. So when we say when, we can meet when I get back. Okay. The time word there is, okay, get back. Okay. How about, okay, present continuous? Okay. Which sentence or statement in A to I is an action in progress at the moment of speaking? It's still ongoing.
F.
Okay, let's see. Oh, what's letter F? I'm
Uh,
leaving. Oh, it's actually letter A. I am calling about the email. So right now, the person is doing the action. The action is in progress. Okay, he is calling. How about a current unfinished project?
C.
Okay, it's letter C, correct. So we are currently updating. So right now, it's unfinished. It's still ongoing. How about this one? An arrangement in the future. Okay, which is an arrangement in the future.
H.
Okay, it's letter F. Okay, so I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. Okay, so it's an arrangement that the person will be leaving the day after tomorrow. And let's have number 9. Which of these is a temporary situation?
I.
Okay, it's letter I. So I am covering for a colleague who's on maternity leave. So maternity leave is not a permanent situation, it's a temporary leave. So you could cover for someone. Okay, so these are now the functions of the present continuous and present simple tense of the verb used in the different statements here. Okay, so do not be confused. Again, present simple, routine, always true, something permanent, a schedule. When we say present continuous, in progress, action that is in progress. Okay, next, let's take a look at the next part. Now, you want to find out this information from someone you meet for the first time. What questions would you ask? Let's say, for example, okay, you want to know who they work for. What question will you ask? So let's say you are going to interview someone and you want to know these information. How would you ask the question?
I will ask the department or area they work in.
Okay, how would you change this one to a question form, Miss Tram?
Yes. Uh,
Okay, what
in the
questions would you
question, make
ask?
make make it in question.
Yes, you have to make it in question form.
Yes. Uh, hey, ask you. Ask you. Bạn đang làm ở đâu? Where do you live in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you work? Where do
Where do
you
you work? Okay, so where do
Yes.
you work at the moment, or where do you work? Okay, that could be one. Okay, how about you, Miss Rose? How would you change this into a question form?
I think who they work for.
Okay, so you just retain and put question mark. Now let's see some suggestions here. Okay, so these are the information that you would want to know. Now these are the suggested question form. Okay, so aside from where do you work, okay, a much more formal way to ask are the following. So you could ask these two. Okay, let's have Miss Rose to read the first two example.
Who do you work for?
Or
Which company are you with?
all right. So these two are much more polite, okay, when you ask about the company that they work for. So for example, who do you work for? Or which company you are with? So you can answer this by uh, stating your company. So for example, I work with, and then state the name of your company. Okay. The next one, if you want to know the department or area they work in, these are the two suggested questions. Let's have Miss Tram to read the sample.
Which department do you work in?
Or,
What area do you specialize in?
all right, correct. So these two are related and it talks about your specialization or the area where you work. So you have to remember because we will use these phrases during your practice time. Okay. How about when it comes to responsibilities at work? Okay, let's have Miss Rose to read the two questions.
What are your main responsibilities?
Or,
What's your job usually involve?
all right, correct. How about if you want to know if the person is currently working in a project? How would you ask that? Let's have Miss Tram to read the sample questions.
Are you working on any interesting projects at the moment?
Or,
What project are you currently involved in?
all right. So you're asking now a much more detailed question about their kind of work. Okay. How about when you just want to ask about their daily routine? Okay, let's have Miss Rose to read the sample question.
What does a typical day at work look like for you?
Okay. Or what does a typical day at work, okay, look like in your company? Next, let's have this one. How regularly they need English at work? Since we are using English at work, how regularly? So these are the two questions that you may ask, Miss Tram.
How often do you use English at work? Do you need English regularly in your job?
Okay. Next one, okay, we could also ask how their English studies are going. Now, you can only ask this if you are familiar with the person, if they are learning or studying English, okay, in a separate training or session like this. So you could ask this question. Let's have Miss Rose to read the two sample questions.
How are your English study going?
Or
Are you currently taking any English
classes.
classes?
All right. So this can be a follow-up question to the question earlier. Okay, so for example, do you need English in your job? If the person answers, yes, we do need English in our class. Are you currently taking English classes? So it's like a follow-up question. Okay. And then you may also would want to know about their schedule for the next week or next month. So you may ask these questions. Let's have Miss Tram to read the two sample questions.
What does your schedule look like next week? I see available anytime next week.
All right. So this is now your way of asking if the person is available for a meeting. So you see the flow. The first part would be establishing connection. And then the latter part of your conversation would boil down to arranging a meeting with the person. Okay. So that way you establish first your connection, you build trust on each other, you build connection, and then you inject your interest of meeting with a person for a possible business connection or for, a possible future business with them. And those are the set of questions, sample questions that we have. Now, I want you to exchange questions among yourselves. So let's say you don't know each other. Okay. How would you begin your conversation? Okay, of course, you have to ask for the name and you have to appear interested in knowing about their company. Okay. Let's practice asking and answering questions. Okay, who wants to go first?
I first,
Okay, go ahead, Miss Rose. Ask Miss Tram a question.
yeah. Hello, Mr. Which company
Hello,
are you
Michelle.
with? I work, I work at a VC company. What area do you specialize in? Um, my I work in the planning department at a raw material planner. Yeah. And what does your job usually involve? My job usually involves about about control raw material to meet the production demand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, how about you, Miss Tram? Do you have any question for Miss Rose?
Yes. Uh, who do you work for? I work for food company. Which department do you work in? I'm working in research development department. What are your main responsibilities? Uh, my work is find new product for my company.
Mm. Okay, so we'll end first on those three questions. Now, the goal here is for you to establish connection with someone whom you do not know yet. Okay, so the goal here is for the conversation to smoothly flow. So, for example, when Miss Rose asks, "Hi, Miss Tram, which company are you with?" And then Miss Tram answered, "I work with ABC company." Now, after you answer that question, you have to return the question to Miss Rose. "How about you, Miss Rose? Who do you work for?" So the conversation flows smoothly. And then, if Miss Rose answered, then Miss Rose will ask again another question. Which department do you work in? And then Miss Tram will answer again. And then you have to throw back the question so that the person would feel that you are also interested to get to know her. Okay, so conversation and follow up questions. Conversation should flow smoothly by throwing follow up questions. Okay, so we are not bound, we are not being limited with these questions, but these are your guide on how to, you know, establish conversation, begin conversation with someone whom you do not know. Because at the end of the conversation, you will invite him or her to a meeting. Okay, so ideas should flow smoothly. Okay, so we will practice more on this on our next meeting because we also have another topic where we will practice, exchanging information aside from the ones stated here. Okay. Now, let's take a look at, okay, let's move on to a much more personal aspect of our lesson. I want you to take a look at the two diagram on the screen. So we have here a frustrated person and a reconciled person. Okay, of course, we don't want to become the frustrated person. Okay, we want to become a reconciled. But when it comes to personal life and work life balance, I'm sure you're also guilty with this. You try to separate personal and your work life. But it's hard, right? So whether you admit it or not, it's difficult to separate those two. Now, in this diagram, we can see that they are not actually totally separated, but they are overlapping entities. Now, let's take a look at the interpretation from the book. Okay, let's read about life overlap. Okay, let's have Miss Rose to read the paragraph, the life overlap.
Okay. These two Venn diagrams compare how the overlap between our working life and personal life can affect us. The first diagram highlights how frustrated we can become when we try to separate our personal life from our working life. There is very little overlap in the diagram, and so this person is leading to separate lives, which often lead to frustration. In contrast, The second Venn diagram shows a much larger overlap. This kind of person tend to be reconciled to the
Form.
fact that their work is also part of their personal life. They don't change their character at work, and in general, they work on things that interest them and so aren't frustrated by their situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now, Miss Rose, I want you to read again these words we have. Hold on, let me. Okay, this one. This is frustration.
Frustration,
Okay, how about this one? Lives.
lives,
Okay, this one is reconciled.
reconcile,
And
reconcile,
mhm, and this one is situation.
situation.
All right, that's better. Next, let's have Miss Tram to practice reading our article about the life overlap.
Like overlap. These two Venn diagrams compare how the overlap between our working life and personal life can affect us. The first diagram highlights how frustrated we can become when we try to separate our personal life from our working life. There is very little overlap in the diagram, and so the person is leading to separate the life, which often lead to frustration. In contrast, the second Venn diagram shows the much larger overlap. This kind of person tends to be reconciled to the fact that their work is also part of their personal life. They don't change their character at work, and in general they work on things that interest them and so are frustrated by their situation.
Okay, so this is now our diagram when it comes to personal life and work life, and how you can be frustrated if you try to totally separate personal life from life. Now, this has something to do with not with the kind of work that you do, but more of the character that you show at work and in your personal life. So in this paragraph, okay, it shows that the more you lead two different lives, let's say you are very much ethical and professional in your work life, but in your personal life, you are not really professional. So it's like you are having two faces in one body. Okay. So it says here that if you want to be a reconciled person, you should establish your character, and it should also reflect both in your personal life and in your work life. So let's say you are a diligent person in your personal life. It should also be translated to how you work. Okay, so that's what we mean by a reconciled person, and there is a strong overlap with character when it comes to personal and work life. Now, let's take a look at our discussion question. Okay, are you able to stop working when you leave your place of work, or do you often continue dealing with work from home or on your phone?
I usually stop working when I leave at my place of work.
Mm-hmm.
But some, but I, uh, I also check my phone to hear some you can talk from my colleague.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to spend time for me with uh, out of work, but continue keep connecting with my colleague if in need.
If in need. Okay. Thank you for your answer, Miss Tram. How about you, Miss Rose?
My work is researching, so I can leave your place to for work.
Mm-hmm.
I seldom uh,
Mm-hmm.
working on home
Oh,
because
so you also work.
yeah. Also, I usually action
Mm-hmm.
usually action test on my company.
Mm-hmm. So I think it depends on the kind of work that you have, right? Because, well, as much as possible, we do our work in the office, and then we prioritize family and, establishing good relationship with our family members at home. Okay, but that is now the challenge of keeping the balance between work and personal life. And it's hard to balance because sometimes we can't help but to also answer work related concerns while we are at the comfort of our home. Okay. So I hope that you will be able to find balance, although it's very difficult, especially you also have your children, right? So it's hard to balance everything out. Okay. So we will answer the rest of the questions about establishing work and personal life balance, and we'll talk more about this topic on our next meeting. Okay. So thank you so much, Miss Tram and Miss Rose. Do you have any question?
Yeah, teacher. No. Next week I off on this class.
Okay. So you will be off, Miss Rose, next week?
Yeah, only Tuesday is class
Ah,
on next week because I go to countryside.
okay. It's okay, Miss Rose. Thank you for informing me ahead of time.
Yeah,
Okay, Miss Tram, any question?
I have no question.
Question. All right. So thank you for coming to our class, and I'll see you on our next meeting. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.